Roughly 1.1 million Bitcoin has left exchanges since March 2020. Here is what is important, and here is what affects you moving forward with your wealth. So, Crypto Slate put out this article yesterday, and it looks like James wrote it, and it was a really good article. I'll link it here. It's a good read. Some of the quick takes, though, I think are really some of the most important things to talk about, though. So, the Bitcoin held on exchanges was 3.2 million Bitcoin in March of 2020. And at that time, again, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on yet, right? People weren't that worried about anything in life. They were just like, whatever. Generally, globally, as I'm speaking, I guess, how I'm saying it. So, as they're the saying in Bitcoin, not your keys, not your coins. And that is wealth. That is sovereignty, personal sovereignty. That is bearer instruments, bearer assets, like holding gold and silver, like holding Bitcoin, actually holding it in your hand. You have possession of it. No one can take it from you. There's no counterparty, right? We talk about counterparty risk. There's none of that in Bitcoin. That's the beauty of it. You hold the key to your Bitcoin in your cold storage wallet. It's yours. No one can take that from you. That's the beauty of this. And that's the signal for the future. That is a signal in the noise, which is getting your own custody. We just did the FDIC videos the other day. We posted the actual video. We posted the real video and the link to it, the 3-hour meeting, which I actually watched a lot of it. Really, really fascinating meeting, quite honestly. Never thought I'd ever say that, but really fascinating. They're there the entire time, and I made, Mark Moss's team made a bunch of clips of it, and it's like a 1-minute clip we have. And we did another video on it about that. People saying, don't spook the public. The FDIC could just bail in your bank accounts, and they only have $125 billion to cover $9 trillion in assets. Think about that. $125 billion to cover $9 trillion in assets. So is your currency really safe in a bank? No, it's a Ponzi. You can't taper a Ponzi either, by the way. It's impossible because there's more debt in the system than there is actual principal. So you can't taper or else it implodes on itself. That's a current system. That's a fiat currency world. And that's why this is so important. Almost 1.1 million Bitcoins moved off exchanges in the last 35 months, accelerated by the collapse of Terra Luna and FTX and stuff like that, which has accelerated big time. 600,000 Bitcoin were taken off exchanges just in 2022 alone. Massive, massive things. And quite honestly, again, in 2022, we had Russia invasion, we had the Canadian truckers, we had the Dutch farmers, we had so many things going on in 2022. I would love to see that. I wish that was 3 or 4 times as many people had taken their coins off exchanges. I'm actually surprised it's that low, to be totally honest. However, the system is very healthy because I want to get to a little math equation in a second. The total balance on exchanges stands at 2.2 million Bitcoin as of yesterday, February 9th, equaling roughly 12% of the Bitcoin circulating supply on exchanges. So again, this is it's a good little just note here. I shouldn't say article because it's kind of bullet points that he has on here. So this is really fascinating and really important for you, because this means that the ecosystem is healthy, quite honestly, as the Bitcoin circular economy keeps moving in the right direction. And I have them right here on the sheet, so I wrote it down. So 2.2 million on exchanges. We have about 2 million left to mine, and we'll say 3 or 4 million lost. And so we'll say about 4 million lost, and or going to be lost here in the future. So we'll just cut it at 4, and then that would lend us to believe there's about 13 that will be in wallets. So you go 2 plus 2 plus 4, that's 8. And then that would leave about 13 million in wallets. So that's about I think I figured out, so 70% of the supplies in cold storage wallets, or it's in custody. So that's great. That's 70% of 2.1 quadrillion sats. So 100 million sats, Satoshis per Bitcoin. So 100 million times 21 million Bitcoin is 2.1 quadrillion. So that would give us about 1.5 quadrillion sats in custody. We know they're safe. They can be in the global economy moving around. And if you divide that 1.5 quadrillion by 8 billion people, that gives about 150,000 to 200,000 sats per person. That's pretty nice. That's beautiful. That's more than the average person in the world doesn't have $100 to $200,000 in their name. So really beautiful stuff. The ecosystem is very healthy. And again, at the end of the day, as Mike Maloney says, it's purchasing power. Number of units doesn't mean anything. The price, like the number of units, doesn't mean anything. People know the price of everything and the value of nothing. one Satoshi could buy you a whole block of real estate, or one Bitcoin could buy you a whole block of real estate. It just depends on the value of each Satoshi or of each Bitcoin, right? So that's the difference here, and that's where there's plenty of Satoshis to go around for all the people. Even like we just did the math, we just did the back of the napkin math, but we still know we need to get more of this off exchanges. We need to get everyone off exchanges, because this is what really helps the supply go up, because the price is made on the margins, but also the freedom aspect. This is not financial advice, this is freedom advice. That's what I always say here, right? We want to question everything with boldness. We aren't going to trust people. We're going to trust code. We're trusting God. We're going to trust code. We're going to trust that the consensus and what's going on. We want rules, not rulers. So we don't want to be betting on exchange to have our stuff. As we've seen, they implode. Kraken just came down. SEC coming down on them. All kinds of stuff going on. We don't want to trust some other person. Maybe someday there'll be good lenders that lend your Bitcoin to you. You can get yield on. Maybe that's great, wonderful. And there's people doing it now, but we want to make sure we're taking our assets into custody and actually have. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. That's the beauty of gold and silver too. Other assets, you can't do that. If you have life insurance, the other company, hope they exist. I hope they're there. I hope they give me my life insurance. Stocks, I don't own the company. It's in the trust somewhere. The actual stock certificate, I don't actually own it. Real estate, I pay property taxes. I got to fight the government for it. These are all things that they could be taken from you. They really can be taken from you. And if the last couple of years, since March of 2020 until now, the Dutch, the stuff going in your arms with Pfizer, Moderna, we won't say it here, the Dutch farmers, the Canadian truckers, Russia invading Ukraine, and people fleeing, refugees, all kinds of, if the last 3 years don't convince you, then I don't know what will. I don't know how many more exit ramps you need to see, how many more warning signs you need to see at the end of the day. So become sovereign, become independent, become resilient. Bitcoin, gold, silver, energy, food, water, security, firearms, ammo, and community. Build community. Please. I beg of you. This is for our freedom. This is for our posterity going forward. I appreciate your time and energy. Please share this with someone you think might get something out of this. Please, please, please share this with someone you might think gets something out of this. This is so huge. My mission and my calling is to spread, hopefully, truth and reality to people and first principles, nature's law. And I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. As my wife always makes me say, I appreciate you coming to my TED Talk. And I appreciate your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have, the only finite asset we have, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is time, and time is Bitcoin. So these beautiful numbers here. We need to keep increasing this, keep increasing the education. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.